And then in the whole thing that it's fun once you loosen up a little bit. It's fun to play in the reality of this reality here on Earth. All started with some collision that they don't understand called the Big Bang, and it was some hydrogen and helium that slammed together in this great big explosion, and from that this little organism started, and then it grew and grew, and it turned into a whale, and then a monkey, and then you. And it's all science, and it doesn't matter, and you're going to die, and nothing's going to happen, and get what you can while you can, and all. That's a great reality to play in. And it's a reality. It's true. At a recent gathering, I told the Adamus's version of creation. It was amazing. And it doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? You know why it doesn't matter if there's no God, let's say, there's no Big Bang, there's just this little organism and the little green pond scum. That was the earliest form of life on Earth, green pond scum, and from it you emerged. You could probably relate to that someday. Some days you feel like, oh God, I feel like green pond scum today, because you were. It's the and. It's also. See, this is where it gets fun. You're also green pond scum. So you grew up from this little scum on the ground that even birds wouldn't eat. And suddenly you went through this thing called evolution. Yeah, and there's no God, there's no angels, none of that, just green pond scum. There's not even like a god of green pond scum. It's just green pond scum. It's as good as it gets. So you evolved from that and went through, being a turtle for a while. It's part of the evolution. It's the turtle phase that you go through, and then apes, and then humans, and here you are. And there's no God. There's no heaven. No, really, really, allow yourself to experience that. There's no heaven. There's no. When you die, that's it. That's it. Nothing else. It's an amazing proposition, and I ask you really to play with it, you feel it. Because suddenly you'll realize, hang on, Adamus, something's going on here. I don't care what you say about green pond scum and then being turtles at some point. Something is in this whole picture of evolution that's still not accounted for, that's still not explained. Something is in here. How did it evolve? Why did it evolve? Why did it turn into this? Why did little green pond scums now be able to send a rocket to the moon, and sometimes not so well? Why is it that this pond scum can smash atoms? Come on, Adamus, something else is going on here. I don't care if you subscribe to the pond scum theory of life or the Big Bang theory or God in heaven and you were bad, you got sent down here. It doesn't matter one way or the other. What's in there? What's the common element in every one of these scenarios, which are all true, by the way? The pond scum to God, to everything in between. The alien master races who created you, and now they're fighting with each other. Who wants you? Actually, they're fighting who doesn't want you. But that's another theory. That's what the fight is about. My God, humans so egotistical. They're fighting for me. No, they're fighting to see who doesn't get you. What is the common element in all of this? Consciousness. Even if it was green pond scum, there was consciousness. And that consciousness, as it expanded, did create God. It did create the heavens. And it did create all of the dimensions. It created magic. It created everything. I don't care where you came from, how you got here, or where you're going. You got consciousness. You got consciousness. That is the key ingredient in everything. With consciousness realized, in other words, aware of your awareness, I am and I end. With that, my dear friends, you can live and experience and be in a multiplicity of realities. Realities that are absolutely conflicting, and it doesn't matter. Consciousness is the common element. Whether you came from God, whether you came from green scum, doesn't matter anymore. There doesn't have to be some big story about it, because the headline is consciousness is here. That's it. So, the mystery schools were closed down so that you could be in experience, so that you could be in life. No more studying, no more books, no more having to figure your way into enlightenment. It was done back then because there were things. We had to isolate ourselves. We had to study some of the things, but then you graduated, and here you are now. Enlightenment is timeless. The experience of it is in time, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And we'll also be going out of time with it. We'll be in phase and we'll be out of phase, and it doesn't matter anymore, because there's a singular element that you and only you own for yourself. It's your consciousness. It goes with wherever you go, whatever religion you subscribe to, whatever philosophy you become limited to. It's always there. It's called consciousness. It doesn't have mass, weight. It cannot be taken by another. It cannot be bartered. The only thing about consciousness that is all yours, the only thing about it, it can be temporarily hidden by you from yourself. Perhaps a play, an act of consciousness to see what it's like to be limited in consciousness. I don't know. Doesn't matter, because the consciousness is still there. It can never be buried forever. It can never be hidden from you for eternity, ever, ever. Never taken by another. No. Energy can be taken. Your energy, mental energy, emotional energy, but your consciousness is always there. Let's take a deep breath, a good deep breath.